Morning, guys. So I just woke up and I was just laying in bed and I was thinking that I wanted to share some different things that I like to do to gear my mind right for the day, and different things that I like to do to make sure I'm in the fitness mindset, right? Um, just different tips, tricks, stuff like that that I use. Um, One of the first things that I do um, when I wake up, I make sure that I start my morning right? So, like, I wake up, I drink water, and then I think about a good breakfast that I can have. So, whether it be fruit, steel cut oats, something that incorporates fruit, something that's going to give you the energy that you need for the day, and not just something that's going to feed you, basically egg whites, avocado, whole grains. You want to make sure that you're in the right food groups, not that you're just putting something in your mouth, something that's going to fill you up too, so it's going to last you the whole morning, it's going to last you until lunchtime. That's the mindset, right? Getting right when you first wake up. But also with that, a couple different things that I like to do. An additional thing is make sure you meal prep. You can't say you don't have time. I'm very short on time all the time. I take an hour and a half every probably 4 to 5 days, and that's not even necessary. I could do it once a week. I just choose not to because I like to switch up some of the foods. But you can even do all the days. You can do 2 different types of meals and still have it last 7 days. So basically my point in that is, like, don't use that as an excuse. Don't say you don't have time, because that's not an excuse. It takes one trip to the grocery store, which takes 20 minutes, and it takes 3 items, right? It takes a protein, it takes a carb, and it takes vegetable, whatever, something in that category. And you don't even have to do it that way. Make what you're going to eat. Make what you're going to eat that's going to taste good, that's going to make you happy. Because if you make something based off of what you see somebody else make, you're not necessarily going to eat that, and you're going to be like, oh my gosh, this is so gross. Don't do that. Do what you like. Do what you want to do. Don't do something just because somebody else is posting about it or it works for them. That doesn't mean it's going to work for you. Find a balance. Set a calorie goal that you want to have at that meal. Weigh the food out so you know how many calories is in it, and then put it in the container so you have it, for your lunches throughout the week. You don't just have to meal prep lunch. You can meal prep dinner and you can meal prep breakfast. It's totally up to you. Don't feel like you have to go to outside sources like Nutrisystem or Jenny Craig or whoever those people are that send you the meals, the pre-made meals. That's not necessary either. That's a waste of money. Because all they're doing is they're doing this simple job for you. So that's not necessary either. The other thing that you can do also is, when you aren't meal prepping and when you're just eating normal foods and you're at home, you're cooking, use smaller plates. The first time in probably 6 months that I've used a full-size dinner plate was the other night, and it's just because I had some salsa and I wanted 2 different kinds of salsa, and I put them in like those little bowls, and it wouldn't fit on my small plate. I actually tried because I'm so used to using those plates, but it wouldn't fit. So I was like, I'm just gonna have to use the big plate. And I was kind of laughing because I haven't used that plate in so long, and the reason for that is because don't allow yourself to have those larger portions, right? You don't need them. Your body doesn't need the larger portions. You just want them, and it's so much less calories you're gonna take in. Because when I was younger, I came from the clean plate club, my dad used to always say. So he always wanted everything on the plate gone. And if you still have that mentality, which I know I do because that's how I was raised, I'm going to eat everything on that plate. So it's easier for me to get a smaller plate, put less portions on it, and then I can eat all of that if I want to. So that's another tip. I think we're on 3, maybe 4. I think we're on 4. Tip number 4, drink water before you consume your food. Doesn't have to be a lot, but always have your water with you also, right? So chug some water before you eat, and then eat your food. And what that's going to do is it's going to fulfill some of that hunger that you have that isn't really hunger, right? A lot of the times, most of us are dehydrated, not fully dehydrated, but we're lacking water. We drink different things throughout the day, and it causes our bodies to crave that hydration. And we think all of our hunger pains and anything with our stomachs, we always say, I need food, I need food, I need food. That's not the case, right? So what you need to do is you need to drink some water, let it sit for a second, and then you can process eating your food. Number 5, learn what it feels like to be full, right? And this is something I'm still working on, and this is why I'm talking about it. I just want you guys to know everything that I'm talking to you about is something I've experienced. It's something that's helped me. I'm not saying I'm a doctor. I'm not saying I'm a professional. I am telling you guys what has helped me personally as far as controlling my eating, as far as getting a right mindset. These are things that have helped me. So I just want you guys to know that. I lost my track now. I forgot completely what I was on. I feel like I have to go back and rewatch this video so I can even remember. Well, I'm going to move on. Another thing that I like to do. So, we're going to say this one's number 5. I apologize, but I can't remember what I was talking about. So, number 5, right? Put workout clothes on. What I mean by that is like put like joggers on, put gym shoes on, put some type of top on that isn't like a nice top, put something on that you might work out in. I'm not saying you have to run around all the time in workout clothes. I'm not saying that at all. But I am telling you it will motivate you. And I say that because like there'll be times I come home from the gym, there'll be times I come home from my apartment gym, and I'm like pumped up. I'm like, yeah. And like I want to do more, right? I don't want to just come home, sit on the couch. That's like a perfect time, honestly. Like when I come home, I'll eat something real quick. I'll get some protein in, and I'll start cooking food, and that's when I'll do my meal prep. That's happened a lot of times with me. Another thing is just when you're sitting around, like you're more, if you do come home and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm so tired, that's fine. You can rest, you can relax, but your mindset's more in the mindset of, hey, you know what, like, I don't know why, but there's something with workout clothes that if you have them on, you have more energy with you. I don't know if it's just because you're like, oh, I'm in these clothes, blah, blah, blah. I don't know if that's it. Even if you want to come home, take a shower, change, put something else on that's going to possibly do the same thing for you, right? So that's just another thing, another tip, trick that I use as well. What else is there? Okay, so I remember, I actually went back and looked at my video right now. I remember what the other thing I was talking about. So number 6 is learn how to be full, right? So like I said, I'm working on that myself still. And basically when you're a heavier person like myself, and when you eat a lot of food sometimes, because heavier people are known to binge, smaller people are known to binge too, a lot of times our stomachs get misproportioned, right? So our stomachs go from what it should be to like being bigger, right? And then it can intake more food, and we think that that's what we need, but that's not the case. So what you can do is like learn what being full feels like, right? So what I've done in the past, I'm not telling you have to do it. Again, this is just what I do. I've gone If I went through like a bad stint where I just knew I was eating the wrong foods and I was, I kind of got off track, I will fast. I will fast from anywhere between 15 to 20 hours, and then I will eat a normal meal, or what's considered a normal meal, right? And when I'm eating, and then I eat enough, obviously, I feel full. I'm like, oh, okay. And you get that back. Like, I don't know how else to explain it unless you experienced it, but you get that back. You get back the sense of being able to know when you're full, because when you're eating all the wrong things and you're not doing the right thing with your body, that is completely gone. 100% gone. And I know some of you understand what I'm talking about. So when you get that back, it helps hands down. And then that will actually, if you can control your eating and your mind thinking that you want food and your emotional eating and all that stuff, if you can just get that and only have that sensation of fullness, that will help you hands down. And that's what I'm in the middle of working on right now, is making sure that I'm eating enough, I get full, I move on. I don't have to clean a plate. I don't have to have a snack at a specific time. Your body doesn't go off of, oh, it's 12 o'clock, it's time to eat. Your body doesn't go off that. Your body goes off, I'm hungry, I used all the energy you gave me, put something else in me. That's what your body goes off of. So that's something that we have to remember, right? Another thing, so number 7, do not drink your calories. That is hands down the number one thing that you don't want to do. And there's a lot of people that still do it. There's people that I talk to, they're like, oh, I need to lose weight, I need to lose weight. And then they're still, every single day, they're drinking like a lemonade or a Coke, or like every meal, they're drinking their calories. And I've told them before, like, hey, if you like just stop doing that, you will lose a lot of weight up front. And then you have to, like keep doing more to go forward. But they haven't stopped doing it. So that's up to you personally. If that's something that you don't want to do, again, up to you. I can't do it. I think it's ridiculous. Because when you drink something, you're not getting a sensation of fullness. You're not getting nutrients. Shakes are totally different. I'm referring to pop. To juicy drinks, to just stuff that's making your brain cells happy momentarily by giving you that little boost that you need. But in the long run, to drink one, sorry, I got a text message from my boss. To drink one, drink every meal, if you just have like a can of Coke, that's almost 200 calories. So your 500 calorie meal just went up to 700 calories. And that's an additional 600 calories a day, which is quite a bit. So that's just, I keep saying it's really annoying. That's just something that you want to avoid, right? Water is your friend. Water is key. Make sure you remember that. Number 8, I believe I'm on. Make sure you don't keep high calorie foods around. Because when you are ready to, when you're in the emotional state, when you get an emotional mind, and you feel like you need something to help you get through this emotional breakdown you're going to have, because we all do it, we all have it, no matter if you're skinny, thin, fat, chubby, whatever it may be, we all have a moment in time where we have like an emotional disconnect and we want to just go get something to eat, right? So don't keep high calorie foods around. And the reason I say that is because that's the number one thing you're going to go to. If you have carrots sitting next to chocolate cupcakes, you're going to go for the chocolate cupcakes 9 out of 10 when you're in that emotional state. When you're not in the emotional state, you're like, I don't need you cupcakes, I got my carrots. That's the mindset, and I have the same mindset, so trust me, I understand. I try not to bring anything high calorie into my house. It happens sometimes. I'm a female. Sometimes I get certain cravings once a month. So it is hard. I'm not saying it's not. but just pay attention to what you're bringing in, right? Bring something in that you know that you're going to be able to have some kind of control over. For instance, for some reason, the past month, I've been wanting chocolate every single day. And I've been giving in to my cravings, and I've been mad at myself for it. So the other day, I'm like, okay, I need to figure something out. So I was in the candy aisle because it was the same aisle that something else was in at the grocery store at Walmart. Right? And I saw these Hershey chocolate drops. I was like, you know what? That's a really good idea. Right? So what these are they're these little tiny candies. They're probably about that big. Literally, they're about that big. For 12 to 13 of them, I believe, 12 or 13, one of the two, it's 200 calories. So if I have 6 of those, it's like a 100-calorie snack, right? So when I got home that night, because I was craving chocolate, I ate some of them. And I was like, they're not that good. Because they weren't. They really weren't. They were just kind of like, bleh. Like, it wasn't that like Hershey melt in your mouth. It wasn't like that. So I was kind of put off from them. I actually didn't eat any more of them. But then I thought to myself, this is a great item to have, because when I crave chocolate, I'll eat a couple of them. I'll get my chocolate craving, but I'm not going to want any more of them because they're not indulgent. They're not like doing anything for me, but I'm getting the chocolate that I'm craving, so my body gets satisfied with that. And it's a 100-calorie snack. So you have to, again, just work with what you know about yourself, right? Don't do something that's going to hinder you, and don't do something that's going to fall you down into that spiral that you know that you're going to go into, because we all know our own spirals and we all know how to prevent them. So be conscious about that and think of ways that you can satisfy yourself, but at the same time ways that you're not going to blow it for yourself as well, right? And then there's the last thing that I want to talk about. Make sure you keep, it's basically the same thing, it's number 9, make sure you keep healthy snacks around, right? Same thing as the last topic I just talked about. Don't keep high calorie foods around. Make sure you keep low calorie snacks around, so that way when you do have those cravings, you can have something close by that isn't going to be terrible for your body, right? You want to have those definitely outweigh any cravings that you may keep around. But that's all I have for today, guys. I appreciate it, and I appreciate you watching. Thanks so much. Bye.